Hello everyone, welcome to this wonderful session, Part 2, Chapter 3, Plant Kingdom. In this we will discuss different type of algae, their characteristics, that is green algae chlorophyceae, brown algae phaeophyceae, and red algae, that is rhodophyceae, their comparative account and economic importance of algae. So we are going to start with green algae, that is chlorophyceae. As the name indicates, that is why these are green in color, because they have green pigment. Chlorophyceae mostly are found in fresh water. Important one, green algae are mostly found in fresh water, but a few forms are found in salty water, marine water also. The typical example is 𝕊𝕆𝔻𝔼𝕆, and 𝕐𝕆𝕆. I told you about 𝕊𝕆𝔻𝔼𝕆. This is the one-celled algae, which is the largest one. One-celled algae, this one is found in marine water. The body is thalloid. Already I told you in algae, there is no differentiation of stem. Yes, that is leaf or root-like structures. These are not found. Such a body is known as thalloid. May be unicellular, as in case of 𝕆𝕆𝕍𝕆. You should not be confused. I told you in the beginning, when discuss algae, even in a traditional way, unicellular forms, eukaryotic forms, are kept in protista, but that we used to discuss along with plant kingdom. It may be colonial. Example is volvox. It may be filamentous, unbranched, 𝕆𝕆𝕍𝕆, or that is the branched one, that is cladophora. It may be heterotrichous, or it may be having, that is parenchymatous form, as that is found in case of, that is alva, or as in case of, that is 𝕐𝕆𝕆. Other important point is, very important one, that the green algae usually have a rigid cell wall made up of, if this is the cell wall we have, that the inner layer of the cell wall is made up of cellulose, and that is cellulose layer is surrounded by outer layer, that is pectose. That one is pectose, is outer layer, pectose, and the inner layer that is made up of, that is cellulose. Why these are green? Because they have dominance of pigment chlorophyll A and B. You have to remember important question which has come in examination many times. The pigments are chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B, and these pigments are being blocked, localized in definite structures known as, that is chloroplast. The shape of the chloroplast that may differ. That may be disc-like, as in corolla. It may be chlamydomonas, like this is chlamydomonas. So the chloroplast is just like cup-shaped. It may be ribbon-shaped in 𝕆𝕆𝕍𝕆. This is 𝕆𝕆𝕍𝕆, like this is the cell. So these chloroplasts are just like ribbon-like. It may be girdle-shaped, as in case of, that is Eulothrix. Like this is the cell of Eulothrix. Then the chloroplast is just like horseshoe, or that is girdle-shaped. It may be star-shaped in Zygnema, or it may be reticulate, as in case of Oedogonium and Cladophora. You have to remember the chloroplast found in green algae, that is, these are having different shapes, important one. Some of the typical or commonly found green algae, at least you have to remember this. This is chlamydomonas, this is unicellular, and this is having flagella. That's why this is motile one. See the chloroplast, this one chloroplast is C-shaped. This is like the C-shaped chloroplast. This is volvox. It is a colony, different type of, that is so-called chlamydomonas. I'm going to make, this is one chlamydomonas. That chlamydomonas-like cells, these are found. The cells which are on periphery, these are flagellated, and the cells which are inside, these are non-flagellated. They are going to make one colony known as volvox. This is 𝕆𝕆𝕍𝕆, known as pond silk. Its surface is very smooth, slippery, known as pond silk. It is found free floating in water. If you enlarge a particular cell here, this is the particular cell. The cell is rectangular. The length is more as compared to its width. And in this, the chloroplast, name is given 𝕆𝕋𝔼𝕆 because the chloroplast is spiral shaped, 𝕆𝕋𝔼𝕆. This one is 𝕆𝕋. Here the cells are also rectangular, but that is width. Width is more than the length of cell. And here it has the chloroplast, which is having girdle shaped structure or horseshoe shaped structure. This is 𝕆𝕋. This is also unbranched filamentous. 𝕆𝕋 is found attached to some substratum, while the 𝕆𝕋𝔼𝕆 is found free floating one. Chlamydomonas, volvox, 𝕆𝕋𝔼𝕆 and 𝕆𝕋. Now see this cladophora. This is having simple branched structure. These are the branches like this. These are the branches, cladophora. This is branched one. These are unbranched one. Chara is an important green algae. It is having little bit complicated structure. Where will branch this one is? And the question related to this plant, this algae, that is at node it has 6 organs. The male and female both are found on the same plant. That's the plant is, we will call it that this is monoecious one. This is nucleus. Nucleus is known as female sex organ, which is on above side, while the globule is the male sex organ, which is found below this chara. That is, on this chara there is deposition of calcium carbonate. Right? Come to other important characters. Most of the members, they have one or more storage body, that is pyrenoids. This is the 𝕆𝕋𝔼𝕆 cell, that is ribbon-shaped chloroplast, which will make the food. That here on chloroplast we have this food storing body. These food storing body are known as pyrenoids. Pyrenoids, that is here the protein is surrounded by starch. Pyrenoid contains protein central and surrounded by starch at periphery. Some algae may store food in the form of oil drops. Vegetative reproduction is by fragmentation. This is the filamentous algae, either branched or unbranched. That is, by movement of aquatic animal, it may be broken into fragments. Each fragment is able to grow into new plant. Asexual reproduction, in the beginning of general characters of algae, I told you, it is by flagellated zoospore produced inside zoosporangium. This is a cell, a vegetative cell, that will be converted into zoosporangium. Nucleus will divide by mitosis and these zoospores will be formed. The cell will rupture and zoospores will be released in water. These are flagellated zoospore. That is most common method. This cell which will make the zoospore will be known as zoosporangia. 6 organs, sexual reproduction, are unicellular, non-zaccated, and sexual reproduction, it may be isogamous. I told you the meaning of isogamous. I can repeat. That is the 2 gametes. That is, they may be non-motile but are of similar size. They may be motile, are also of similar size, but the gametes can be flagellated, similar in size as in case of Chlamydomonas species. Then it may be non-motile, non-flagellated as in case of 𝕆𝕋𝔼𝕆. Anisogamy in some of the species of Chlamydomonas, that is the 2 fusing gametes. These are different in size. This is the minus strain, this is the plus strain. Plus strain may be motile or that may be non-motile one. But both are released. Oogamy, as is found in case of volvox, I told you that is the female gamete is not released from the mother plant. That is the female gamete that will remain attached, and the male gamete is smaller, that will come and will fuse this female gamete to make zygote known as oogamy. Right? Come to the next now, that is brown algae. Very important question, very important statement. Are found in marine habitat You have to remember. Brown algae are not found in fresh water. Green algae were found mostly in fresh water, but maybe marine also. Phaeophytes is found only in marine habitat. The plant body shows great variation in size and forms. Unicellular are there in green algae, but here, in case of brown algae, unicellular forms are completely absent. They are simple branch filamentous brown algae, ectocarpus. Ectocarpus one is, this is simple like this is very well branched like this. But most of the brown algae, they include largest algae. Even they may be, that is 100 meter in, that is length, and in sea that they are very large in size and they are creating problem in, that is, shipping industry. They get entangled with the blades of ship, and in that way they causes a problem. Largest algae are known as kelp. Their size may be even up to 100 meter. You have to remember this important point. That is, one is, that is, some examples are, that is macrocystis. Regarding cell wall, is made up of cellulose, characteristic of algae, which is covered on outer side by a gelatinous coating of algin. Algin, this is a water-loving substance. This is a hydrocolloid, which is a hydrocolloid means water-loving substances. It has, that is, good water holding capacity, and this is being used in different ways. The plant body is differentiated into holdfast, stipe, and the front leaf-like structure. Let this is the, that is large, that is, let this is water body, this is sea or ocean. Then this is the, that is part holdfast. This is a stalk-like structure known as stipe, and this is the blade-like structure which is known as frond. Because these are large-sized algae, these are differentiated into holdfast, stipe, and that is frond or leaf-like structure. And holdfast helps attachment of this algae to some substratum. A few species of sargassum known as Gulf weed and fucus, these are free-floating also. Name you are remembering. One is sargassum, one is fucus, one is, that is, ectocarpus. Because they have to float, these forms which are free-floating in water, or even the blade used to float on surface of water, therefore they have specific structures which are known as air bladders. And this air bladder, they provide buoyancy to the algae. Important again, chlorophyll A and C. Do you remember in green algae that was chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B? Here the pigments are chlorophyll A and C, along with that the carotenoids and xanthophylls. The color that may vary from olive green to various shade of brown depending upon amount of xanthophyll and fucoxanthin. These are the pigments present. How much amount of the xanthophyll and fucoxanthin is there, that will make the different shades of this algae. The stored food is in the form of carbohydrate, that may be in the form of, that is, laminarian starch. This is known as laminarian starch, or also known as, that is mannitol. The food may be in the form of carbohydrate, that may be in the form of, that is laminarian starch, that is mannitol. Vegetative reproduction by fragmentation, such when they have such a large structure, that is when the fish or any aquatic animal is moving here and there, that is this large filamentous structure may be divided into fragments, and these fragments, they will develop into the new plant. Asexual reproduction is by flagellated zoospores. You see here the zoospores, these are pear-shaped like this, and the flagella are on, that is, lateral side, and two flagella are different. One is smooth, the other is having, that is, roughness. These two flagella are laterally inserted, known as heterocont, unequal, different type of flagella. If you compare with the green algae, in green algae, the flagella on zoospore were apical, and both of these were isocont. These were, yes, these were isocont. You have to remember here, flagella, biflagellate zoospores, pear-shaped, and they have lateral inserted flagella, which are unequal flagella, right? Sexual reproduction in the same way, it may be isogamous, anisogamous, or oogamous, meaning I told you. Gametes are pear-shaped and they bear two laterally attached flagella. The male and so-called female gamete, these are motile, and the common form, some of the common form of that is phaeophysi. You have to identify, these are the diagrams, most of the diagrams are from NCERT. You have to identify. This is laminaria, this is plate, this is type, this is hold fast. This is fucus, because fucus is free floating one. That's why fucus is having air bladder. You can identify if air bladders are there, that will be fucus one. In the same way, this is 𝕃𝕀ℎ𝕂𝕃, because all these are giant algae, large sized algae these are, and therefore they have, that is type, by which these are attached to some substratum, that is hold fast. This is a tubular structure, that is type, and these are the fronts. This is ectocarpus one, that is simple, that is branched structure this is having, right? Come to the third group, third class of algae, that is red algae, rhodophysi. Why this is red? Because it is having accessory pigment R-phycoerythrin. You know, phycoerythrin is found in blue-green algae also, but there that will be known as C-phycoerythrin. What with this C-phyco, that is erythrin. Here, that is RR means red, rhodophysi, phycoerythrin. And the chlorophyll you have to remember especially, that is chlorophyll A and chlorophyll D. Do you remember in green algae? Yes, that was chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. In brown algae, that was chlorophyll A and chlorophyll C. And in red algae, this is chlorophyll A and chlorophyll D. Important points to be remembered. Mostly marine, but are found, that is in warmer sea. A few are there found in freshwater also. For example, this is Batrachospermum, freshwater red algae. In this reference also, can you differentiate? Brown algae are found only in marine water. Yes, green algae is found in freshwater as well as marine water. In the same way, red algae is also found in freshwater as well as in, that is, marine water. Is it? Anyway, they occur both in lighted region, close to the surface of water, and also great depth of the question may come. If this is the water body and this is the depth, that is, these are found floating on surface of water, as well as these are found in depth of sea. Most of these are, that is, multicellular. A few are unicellular also. Cell wall is composed of cellulose, inner layer, surrounded by pectin and hydrocolloids, water-loving substance. And some of the important water-loving substances, hydrocolloids, are, one is agar, one is carrageenan, one is phenori. Most of the hydrocolloid substances are obtained from rhodophysi. Do you remember one hydrocolloid from this brown algae? That is algin. Anyway, this agar is obtained from Xylidium and Gracilaria. It is frequently used in microbiology lab for solidification. If you want to culture some bacteria, then in culture plates you have to put this media agar, which will make this solidification, and preparation of jellies and ice cream, agar is used. Carrageenan is obtained from chondrus, C will be capital here, and it is used as emulsifier. Emulsifier, you know the meaning, and to make ice cream, chocolates, and that is clearing agents of some mucus. Phenori, this is gum-like substance, glue, used in textile and that is paper industry. You have to remember that is cell wall is very important in, that is, red algae. Okay. Then how the food is stored? Food is stored here, that is in the form of Floridian starch. And this fluoride starch is structurally, it is very similar to amylopectin and glycogen. This is an important question. Fluoride starch have similarity with amylopectin and glycogen. Vegetative reproduction, as usual, by fragmentation. And remember, that is here, the spores are produced, asexual spores, but these are not zoospore, these are non-motile one. You see, in case of red algae, that is, motile forms are completely absent. Motile forms are, that is, absent. Neither zoospore nor gametes, these are motile. Important point and important question. Sexual reproduction is oogamous, the same thing, and the gametes are also, yes, come on, non-motile. Very important point, that is, the zygote is formed, the two gametes, so-called minus and plus, will fuse, the 2n zygote structure will be formed. The zygote doesn't divide in all other forms. The zygote divides by meiosis at once. But here in this case, that is, post-fertilization development is there. This zygote will enter into post-fertilization development, and that is an important feature. Some common members: Xylidium, Gracilaria, Chondrus, Porphyra, this is Porphyra, and last one, and Polysiphonia. That is, I told you how these are being used. Xylidium, that is from which that agar is obtained. Porphyra is used as food, and so on. Okay. Now we have to compare comparative account of three main classes of algae. Comparative account of three main classes of algae. What we have done so far. Can come to this. Three main classes are, yes, Chlorophyceae, Phaeophyceae, and Rhodophyceae. What's the common name? Green algae. Phaeophyceae is brown algae. Rhodophyceae is red algae. Can you tell me the habitat where these are found? Fresh water as well as saline water, brackish water. Chlorophyceae, mostly these are found in, that is, fresh water, you have to remember. Phaeophyceae, these are found in brackish water, in marine water. Fresh water, very rarely these are found, you have to remember. Rhodophyceae, these are found, a few are in fresh water, but mostly these are found in brackish water. And you are remembering, these red algae, they may be on surface of the water body, or they may be at the bottom of, that is, sea. About habitat. Come to the major pigments. I can recall. Can you recall it now? Chlorophyceae. Chlorophyll A, you know, is found in all. Chlorophyll A, chlorophyll A, chlorophyll A. Then chlorophyll B. Here this is chlorophyll C. Here this is chlorophyll D. Chlorophyceae is having chlorophyll A and B. It is having chlorophyll A and C. It is having chlorophyll A and D. In case of Phaeophyceae, some additional pigments are also there, just like that is fucoxanthin. And here in Rhodophyceae also, this is phycoerythrin. It's better to write it, that is R-phycoerythrin. But the stored form of food, here this is Chlorophyceae, green algae, this is starch. Phaeophyceae, this is, yes, come on, this is mannitol, or known as laminarian. That is known as laminarian starch. And this is known as Floridian starch. Do you remember? It has similarity with, that is, amylopectin. That is, it is having similarity with amylopectin, as I told you. Cell wall, important one again, made up of cellulose. Outer side is, that is, pectose. Pectin substance is there. In this, it is having cellulose and algin. Algin is used commercially. And most important one here we have in the case of red algae, cellulose, pectin, and polysulfate esters, from which we used to obtain, that is, agar, and that is carrageenan, and that one is, that is, phenori. Come to the last one, flagella, flagellar structures and position of insertion. In Chlorophyceae, that is equal apical, these are the zoospore. Zoospore, these are flagellated. and the flagella are at the apex of this. Here, that is, this is pyriform and the flagella are on laterally inserted, and both these flagella are, that is, unequal and different, known as heterocont. Do you remember the term known as heterocont? And you have to remember, in Rhodophyceae, that is, motile structure are completely absent. There is no flagella in, that is, asexual spores or in gamete. Can you remember this comparative account? So, my dear children, this is the part 2.